report, is what they've said. 15-year-old was the suspect. You can see some of the photos here from the Walton Sheriff's Office as they have been looking for this guy near the Freeport Learning Center slash Freeport Elementary School there in Freeport. Here's the full statement from the Walton County Sheriff's Office. North Jackson was shut down. 15-year-old white male, reddish brown hair, considered armed and dangerous. Walton's K9 teams, as well as the drone unit, were on scene. And the elementary school and the learning center were on lockdown this morning as a precaution. Uh, there's increased law enforcement. Additional information will be released as soon as possible. That's what we know right now. But this is the second school related, school adjacent incident we've seen so far this school year. And that's kind of terrifying. You know,
Yeah, I mean, we can't read too much into this. There's a lot still outgoing, but the initial incident happened on Stella Drive. It doesn't necessarily mean it was school related, although it was in close proximity to the elementary
I
school.
should be more precise. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's school adjacent.
yeah. I mean, listen, we're trying to. They locked the school down and the learning center down to keep kids safe. But pretty amazing that they just put out this information so quickly, and they got the suspect in custody with basically within like a half hour of this incident starting. So shout out to Walton County Sheriff's Office for how quickly they reacted and the use of their tools, right?
Yeah.
K9 and drone unit to be able to track this kid down quickly. And obviously we'll learn more, as the sheriff's department, the sheriff's office gives us more information. Doesn't sound like anyone was hit by bullets. They're calling it a shooting incident. So, as of right now, luckily no one was injured, it sounds like, and they have the suspect in custody.
Yeah, that's good news. It sounds like the threat is possibly over. I don't want to say that without knowing, but it looks like they feel good about it. The latest came in at about 8:50, I think, this morning. So still developing situations, still trying to figure out exactly what's going on. We'll put some information requests into the sheriff's department as the day goes on. But
Yeah,
yeah,
it seems a little wrong for us to do our intro and dance, so we're going to skip that part today. But we do have some other stories that we do want to talk about,
yeah,
right?
and so we have some
So
good news. I mean, yesterday I was at the Costa Union Club for its grand opening. You see been it's a brand new building. We're really excited to have them on as sponsors as well. You can see some of these cool views from Johnson's Parkway, just looking around the area. Paul, you've been in there before. Thoughts on this opening and what it means for Niceville?
yeah, I mean it's an up leveling upscale of Niceville. I think this sort of started for them a little while ago, and they had this big dream, and they pretty much gutted the entire building. It is the old MJ's and a few office spaces that were there previously, and MJ's is back, new and upscaled, and the building looks fantastic. And actually a little bit of a shout out to DAG Architects because they've done the Okaloosa Gas building and they did this building now,
Yeah,
and they're both beautiful buildings, and they bring like a touch of class to Niceville. It sort of like up levels everything, and I think it challenges some of the rest of us who are doing building projects in the area to to think a little more outside the box and to put a little more design and a little more upscale into what we're doing. So big shout out to MJ and to David Costa for everything that they've done with that building, and we're excited to be a part of it. We're going to shoot the Paul and Saul show there a couple of times a year, maybe even more than that, from their podcast room, and a bunch of us are looking forward to the special events that they're going to put on there. And you can go to MJ still and get a nice cup of coffee.
yeah. I'm probably gonna head there at some point today. I know that, but like, it's to me is like it represents a risk, right? Like in a good way. Like this is something that you know has not been done here before. This is something that looks really cool, and you can tell they put a lot of time and money into, right?
Yep.
And for them to spend all of this money and take all of this time and put together this product, I think says a lot about what they think, but what people, the leading luminaries of Niceville, think about what's going to be next for Niceville. And if this is the direction it's going to be pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, there's going to be more and more change in Niceville, and I know people are challenged by change. There may be people who went to the old MJs who don't like the new MJs. I don't know, but so there's definitely a risk involved. But this is the type of risk Niceville needs, and it's an incredible opportunity for us as well to be a part of it and to help this be successful for our area, and hopefully it will get other entrepreneurs to think about taking a little more risk in our hometown here.
Right on. Well, moving on to our next story, sports pay. That's right. The state legislature, along with, and I just blocked your face. I am just like
No, it's
not
all
happy.
good. I'll eat the
The
Costa
day
Club.
is long. It's fine, but like the sports pay, big deal here in Florida because our two neighboring states, Alabama and Georgia, will pay high school football coaches somewhere in the neighborhood of $250,000 a year. That's a lot of money. And if you're a high school football coach in Florida and somebody offers you that kind of cash, you're probably going to go. Uh, all that being
Hmm.
said, the state has passed two bills that the governor signed earlier this week, and those bills essentially allow the boosters clubs and alumni associations, I should add. Apparently, somebody posted, and I kind of agree with them. I've not heard of an alumni association for a high school, but maybe that's just something I missed out on. I don't know. But though they're allowed to raise money to pay coaches above, teacher pay and stipend pay and all these other things. But there are some caveats. We pointed them out in our story, but the big one for me is that you can't get paid more than the highest paid administrator at the district. So for Okaloosa County, the superintendent makes, I think, 180,000 and change. So that's the upper limit for a high school football coach in Okaloosa County. Not bad. And in Walton County, I was surprised it's more. It's 220,000.
I think it was
10?
210,
Okay.
but close. Yeah.
Look at me not
Yeah, no,
quoting my
this is
own
a
story correctly.
no, this is great. I mean, each of the schools, at least that I'm aware of, have something like the Niceville Quarterback
Mm-hmm.
Club, right? And so this is an opportunity for those organizations to pour even more in to the athletics, and some people are not going to be happy about this because they think money should go towards other things, which I can't
Mm-hmm.
disagree with. But this is good to keep some parity in the Southeast, and to allow a little more flexibility for who we hire as coaches and how much they get paid. So yeah, I mean, I think this is a mixed bag depending on if you like sports or not and think sports
Well,
are
I
important.
happen to like sports ball, and I'm ready for. I think it's 73 days until football season kicks off. Not,
Yeah,
I'm
but who's
not.
counting?
I wouldn't count. That wouldn't be me. But I think this can bode well for those coaches. I hope that this is a harbinger of raising all educators and educated related individuals' pay in the area. I think that Florida is I think somebody said 50th, but I don't know that to be true. I know that definitely in the back third of teacher pay in the United States, and so I think that if the coaches get paid that much, people are going to be emboldened to say, well, don't you think the teachers should get paid too? And then we kind of like go there. So I'm excited about that. But one person I talked to yesterday, All Sports Association member and candidate for school board, JD Peacock, weighed in on this. I just happened to have him, so I'm going to roll the tape because I think it's interesting what he had to say. State government just passed a law. Governor DeSantis just passed two bills talking about coach pay using subsidy, I guess, or extra monies from booster clubs or alumni associations to increase the compensation for head football coaches, other coaches. Do you have any initial thoughts on the passage of that bill, the signature of that bill, or how it might affect us here in Okaloosa County?
Well, of course, anybody that's got kids in our schools that have been around Niceville or Baker or Choctaw or any of the other high schools and middle schools, we're serious about our sports around here, serious about our teams. We
Whoops, didn't mean to cut it off. 1 second, guys. Let's see if I can get it back. Maybe not. Oh, hey, state government just passed a law. Governor DeSantis just passed two bills talking about coach pay using subsidy, I guess, or extra monies. Okay. Well, anyway, I've decided the clip has decided not to work on us. But the idea is he likes it. He wants to see oversight on it. I assume that most candidates would want oversight over how that money is getting paid out and to whom and by what, because at some point people always say, this is taxpayer money. That's not tax. Like, it's all taxpayer money, right? Like everything that's getting donated, I'm a taxpayer. even if I donate something, that's taxpayer money, right? So I would like to see it used responsibly.
I just think a lot of are expected of coaches nowadays, right? Having to handle parents, having to deal with kids and, their behavior, good or bad. And we want the best well-rounded students. And I actually think their job is just really hard. And, not saying teachers aren't, teachers' jobs are hard too. But there's some sort of like level of more public scrutiny over sports coaching,
Mm-hmm.
and for good or bad. And if you're running an enterprise and you're running it well, I think you should get paid what the market's willing to pay you.
Well, not only that, but like I think that these coaches, we talk about soft skills, right? Like a lot, as opposed to like being good at math, which I'm not. But being, good at math is great. You can build stuff and do stuff, but if you can't work with other people, right, then it doesn't matter how good you are at it, right? I think I would think so, and I'm sure you would agree that you'd rather have an average insert job title here and have somebody that's absolutely 110% a team player than to have somebody that's really good at their job and like doesn't show up or shows up when they feel like it or does whatever they want or doesn't work in a team or yells at people like. And you get taught that in sports, right? You get taught how to work on a team. You get inculcated with our cultural values as Americans through those sports. So it's, I think, just as valuable as the reading, writing, and arithmetic.
Yeah, it absolutely can be.
Yeah. So next up, transit issues. Transit is going to see some pretty significant changes. They got a new gentleman, William Higdon. I now know two William Higdons, which I didn't see coming. But big changes coming. They're getting rid of those fixed route transit routes. There's an easier way to say that. But they're moving almost completely to paratransit. There were some people that were concerned about it at the meeting, some people concerned online with our story as well that said, hey, what about the people that need this to get to their jobs in the South End? They can't afford a car, stuff like that. But it does look like the county commission is doing away with it. One of the commissioners, I think it was Commissioner Trey Goodwin, called it a colossal failure. Trisha Elliott, one of our reporters, did this story, and I think she did a bang-up job on it.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes when things, you want things to work, we want to have some sort of public transit to help people who can't afford, cars, or in just different situations. And you want it to work, but we might just have to start from scratch, to be honest with you. So yeah, I mean, this has been an ongoing thing for the last year or so, and I don't think we got what we paid for. And I'm glad that the leadership here in Okaloosa County has seen that and has decided to make a change. And I would just be curious, what's next?
Yeah, we'll see what happens, but we'll have to see it after this message from the Costa Union Club.
Welcome to the grand opening of Costa Union Club.
They have cool
Awesome.
ads.
It's so good, man.
Yeah.
So
Well, like
good.
a bunch of people that I was asked to shout out on this because they made yesterday's ribbon cutting that you just saw possible. Lucky Goat Coffee, tasty coffee, by the way. The Chamber of Commerce, of course, Elkin Balloon Company, Chickadee's Artisanal Market, Delta Baking Company, Olive Road Studios, and Coastal Clay. And that was a one-shot productions joint, I should add. Those guys
Very
are
nice.
pretty good at their job.
Yeah, that was pretty amazing. Hey, a little bit more breaking news on that Walton County thing.
Yeah.
They just released a video on their Facebook page from Chief Deputy Dustin Cawson. I think that's how you say his name.
Okay.
And basically they said the suspect is in custody. No schools are on lockdown anymore. There was one victim transported, but they believe it was with non-life threatening injuries. So that's sort of where we're at with that. We started the show with it, and sounds like we're getting close to ending the show with it. So.
Yeah, so we have one more big story to talk about, and that's a data center ordinance in Walton County. And I'm excited to hear your thoughts on this one, Paul, because it's it's this like fight between private property rights that we see like on the beach as well, right? Versus like public interest. Sorry, people that were listening that I hit the microphone. And I think it's almost the same kind of argument, right? It's just like data centers are less fun to stand in.
Well, I mean, I actually don't think they're the same. Mostly because I think the beach is something everyone wants to visit. No one really wants to go stand in a data center.
Oh, come on.
I do have tons of opinions about this from lots of different angles. So I think the people who dislike the idea of data centers are really using outdated information. They'll justify it saying, oh, the power and the water constraints on our community are going to be increased. Cost for us is going to go up. And those are sort of like old data center challenges. Almost all new data centers are required to come with their own power, or basically boost up the power that's around them and actually bring a better electrical grid to the communities that they are in. And then a lot of the water usages now are cycled water. It's not like they're constantly using water and spitting it back out and causing, issues. So I would say in general, when you place them in the right place, I am pro data center. In no means do I want this in a residential community, or clogging up, views like some of the people complain about with storage units and those type of things. You can't really make a data center all that pretty. They never put windows on them. No matter how good they look.
You can always paint a mullet on the side.
Oh, you can cover it. But listen, we are a technology-based country. It's actually turned into a national security issue. Like, we have to outrun China when it comes to data centers and AI. I think Florida needs data centers. We just need to put them in places that are appropriate. And Walton County should have some data centers. I don't know where they want to put them or where they should put them, but the idea of banning data centers in your county, I think, is a terrible idea. And I think most of the people who are against it have outdated information, and they just don't want it in their backyard.
And so if this is like a backyard issue, right? What are the benefits of having a data center nearby for residents? Is there anything like, will my Jim and I go run faster if it's closer? I mean,
in theory, right? Like, when you have a data center, you have to bring updated power with you, and you have to bring updated connectivity. So yeah, there could be some side benefits that are beneficial. Now, I've seen this also like be annoying. So I used to live up in Northern Virginia. If you look at it, Loudoun County and the Ashburn, Virginia area has more data centers per square mile per capita than anywhere else probably in the world. And it's for a place where you're buying a house for $800,000 to $1.9 million, $2 million. It's kind of sad to be driving around, leave your neighborhood, and immediately see a big square building with no windows. Mm-hmm. But like 3/4 of the U.S. internet goes through Ashburn and Reston, Virginia. And they've received benefits of sort of like decreased energy costs because of it, and increased access to technology and just more jobs in the area. And data centers per capita aren't great for jobs because you have this massive building that maybe has 10 people walking around on the inside. So I get that, but I'm not for a complete ban on data centers. I just think you should legislate them into areas that are appropriate. And not really mix them with residential, because it just doesn't make for a good aesthetic. But the haters, I just think, are like using the common "not in my backyard" things that they've read on the internet that aren't 100% accurate.
I am interested in this take. I like this take. I'm leaning toward this take now, where I was leaning against this take.
Here's the other funny part. Like, I actually think this is only going to be an issue for like maybe another 10 years, like the on-prem data centers. Like, Elon and some other folks are looking to put these things in space rather than on Earth. And so we may have one of those cases where you build a data center now, and in 15 and 20 years, it's outdated, and you either need to do something different with that building, or it just ages out.
Man. So one of the people that is looking to heavily regulate data centers is going to be on our airwaves here in about 30 minutes. Commissioner Danny Glidewell, running for re-election, running for his third term as a Walton County Commissioner there in District 2. Sorry to block you once again.
It's all good.
With my graphic. Here, I have more lower space. I'll do that. There we go. Now we're in business. But Commissioner Glidewell will join us. We got a lot of questions to ask him, not just about data centers. We're going to ask him about a bevy of topics which have taken the internet by storm. He is our eighth guest, I think. You can see here, we're really getting through these candidates, and soon we will have our elections page up where you'll be able to sort by the election that you want to check out. So you can see all the School Board District 3 candidates or the Okaloosa County Commission 12 candidate, whatever. They'll all be organized so that you can find them, hear what people have to say, and then make a choice.
No reason not to be educated on the candidates. Five years ago, Mid-Bay News didn't exist, and you were just picking names based on who your friend told you. Now you can actually do your homework. You should go to Mid-Bay News when the election site is up. You should watch these various interviews. Christopher's taking a ton of time to put it all together, and his staff, and there's no excuse to be uneducated about who you're supposed to be voting for.
And two little pieces. We also add a pretty quick summary, a written summary, so that you don't have to go through the whole 40-minute, in some cases, video. You can get the Cliff's notes, as it were. But we also have the campaign finance tracker, which I find fun because you get to see who's donating to whom. I would say it's better than a public endorsement when you give people money. So if you want to make your decisions that way, it's available. But yeah, that's pretty much it, man. You got anything else?
No, I mean, just to reiterate for those watching, we're not going to do the dancing stuff today, just with everything that went on with Walton County and the shooting this morning. But I hope everybody had a great Memorial Day weekend, and we're headed into summer. It's the last day of school for the majority of the counties. And so I hope you guys have your summer planned. We are not going away. We're going to continue to do our show throughout the summer. And if you find value in local news and the fact that Mid-Bay News is covering this stuff, you can go to midbaynews.com/donate, and you can help keep news free, which is what it should be.
News is free at Mid-Bay News, but it's not cheap. And with your help, we can continue to do the news and give you the information that you want.
You know, some of those other news stations, like in Pensacola and other places, who more or less copy your material and then put it behind a paywall. So news should be free. Please go to midbaynews.com instead of those joints.
Yep. All right. And last thing I should say, our new reporter starts in, I think, like 9 days. June 8th, we'll have another person here, thanks to y'all's sponsorship and hopefully your continued and expanded sponsorship. We're also working on a couple of things that I think will bring you excellent value here before 2027 starts. That's a weird word, 2027. I didn't think I'd make it this long, but yeah, I have the high blood pressure, Paul. I don't know what you want from me.
It's all good. You're doing great, buddy. Hey, shout out to David Deitch in the city of Niceville for my cool hat. And with that, be nice, Niceville. And we'll catch you guys.